All right, next we have Jay Chuppe from Paducah, Kentucky with Red Mullet and Cow Boy.
Oh, thanks. Hope y'all doing okay.
Here, we'll save you some time to pass it out.
Okay. Well, the last one's mine with the notes on the back. All right. Yeah, Red Mullet Cowboy, like the cover says, and I came all the way from Western Kentucky yesterday to tell you about these heroes that protect us there. On the surface, this may look a little like it's just kind of like hackneyed redneck jokes and things like that, but really this character kind of goes in depth. Red Mullet is a middle-aged Vietnam veteran with no superpowers, and under his costume he has an artificial leg. And he just is a really tough guy, and he's able to fashion together a lot of weapons with his Jimmy rig abilities. He has, experience fighting wars, so he's just, a hard-nosed kind of guy. Where Batman has his bat cave and a lot of money to put together weapons, Red Mullet works out of his garage, on his workbench, and everything he builds can be bought at your local hardware store or Radio Shack. So that's his story. Sometimes he technically has no superpowers, but sometimes he'll have a little Vietnam flashback if he gets in trouble and go into a berserker mode and take out everybody in the room, but he hates when these fits overcome him, and he just kind of wants to stop these. And Cowboy is the son of a dairy farmer who lost the family dairy farm to make way for big business. So he decides to take on the mantle of, the symbol that has gotten him and his family through life and provided for their family for generations. So Red Mullet and Cowboy reluctantly team up. Red Mullet kind of treats Cowboy with the tough love of a big brother and kind of wants to get across from him. To him that if you're going to be a costume hero, you're going to get shot at, punched in the face, because he has no superpowers either. They employ weapons like cattle prods, ball bearings, duct tape, like plunger guns, and things they just jimmy rig together in the garage. And in the back you'll find descriptions of the characters, and there's also a story arc for the first few issues. The alien on the cover is actually an intergalactic zoo catcher who comes to Kentucky because there are werewolves running around everywhere, and they have to gather him up, and he wants to put him in his traveling zoo, and they reluctantly team up with one another. Then the alien ends up getting infected by a werewolf and creates a really bizarre creature no one's ever seen, and then they have to take him down as well. So it's pretty much it. It's an action-adventure comedy.
It seems like you have a lot of fun with it, and I like the regional aspect of it. I like that it takes place in Western Kentucky. It's a Western Kentucky story. I kind of like that.
I think you've got a very fertile imagination, and it comes through, and it feels very fresh. I've certainly never heard anything like this. So you got full marks on originality.
Do you know Bob Burden?
Sorry?
Bob Burden has wrote Flaming Carrot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had success with, what was the superhero Misfit movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mystery Men.
Mystery Men.
Yeah.
This is very kind of like of that type. Yeah.
I hate to compare it to anything else because I really tried to come up with an idea a little outside the box, but a quick description would be, the Tick based in Western Kentucky, but no superpowers, I mean.
I think this is cool. It's similar, not in a bad way at all. There's a comic in Germany called Werner, W-E-R-N-E-R. It's one of the best-selling comics ever in Germany. It's sold millions of copies. Their version, I guess, of a redneck. I've never done a redneck comic. I think it's kind of cool. I do have a question for you. Could the protagonist be from a different war and 20 years younger?
Yeah, but I just kind of wanted to make him so vulnerable, like he's just a burnt-out shell of a hero. He's in his mid-50s, he doesn't have muscles, he's got an artificial leg, middle-aged spread. I just kind of wanted to make it like this guy is a guy that can take a bullet but have to go back to his own garage and pull it out with a pair of pliers. I mean, I know people like that because I live in Western Kentucky, and I know people that are, really just like self-reliant, kind of industrious people that work on their own cars and grow their own food and things like that. So I thought, this guy, yeah, that's good too.
I think it's, obviously the Punisher comes from being a Vietnam vet, and when we made a film, we had to
Page him down.
We had to,
There's a reality of Hollywood where if a movie's about someone who's 50, your target audience ends up being 50,
Yeah.
and this is not for a 50-year-old target audience.
Yeah, that's how Cowboy brings the youth aspect. He's sort of, Cowboy's the science whiz at the local high school. They can analyze the clues and you know, do all that kind of forensic work, while Red Mullet's just the hard-nosed, you know, Jimmy Rig fist-fighting kind of guy. You know.
Almost a drama type thing where you've got the dog who's the sensible one.
Yeah.
And you've got this Red Mullet guy who's just out of his mind doing stupid things. He's not really the main character.
But he's the most fun, maybe.
Yeah, he's the most fun.
Right.
He's kind of the one that everything revolves around, but in spite of himself. You know, I would do that with him. I would pull him out of the lead, and I would make the interesting world around him of his quirky friends and characters. That would be your story. Yeah.
Cowboy Red Mullet.
No, it's not like that. But when you're telling your stories, he's more the foil. You know, he's the one that maybe Cowboy is the one who figures the things out.
You guys this afternoon are making this contest tougher and tougher. I mean, this is really stepping it up.
Yeah, it really is.
This is fresh.
And you definitely have something going. And whatever you're drinking over there in Western Kentucky, keep drinking it.
It's home brewed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good, though.
I'm
Thank
from a humor mag background too. I've done some work for Crack, but I'm a huge comic fan, but never worked in comics, so I had to kind of make it funnier. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.